The harsh truth about the 1% of traders who profit, everything you've learned is a lie. Warmest greeting from Ghost in the chart to all of you. You've probably heard people say that only 10% of traders make money, but the truth is not even 1% do. The rest are those still learning, still trying, and being programmed to lose. Maybe you're thinking, I have my own strategy. I'm disciplined. I'm improving every day. I used to believe the same thing until I realized that everything I was learning was exactly what they wanted me to learn. So I would keep believing that just a little more effort would bring success. But no, I wasn't losing because I was bad. I was losing because I was playing by their rules. Because I was thinking like the 99% of traders the market was designed to take everything from. You think you're learning to succeed? No, you're learning to become liquidity for someone else. This isn't a tutorial video. This is a glimpse behind the curtain. And if you have the courage to listen all the way through, you'll discover a part of the truth no one has ever told you. You're studying RSI divergence, mastering pattern confirmations. You're trying to understand mixed crossovers, perfect breakouts, and Fibonacci to the pip. But for what? To become a better trader, or just to become more confident right before the market knocks you out? Ask yourself why. Why is it that every piece of knowledge you learn sounds the same? Why does every class, every course, every so-called expert teach you the same recycled system? Because they learned it from the same place you did. And we are all trapped inside a maze of pre-designed knowledge. I once made a video titled The Trader's Secret. Everything you've learned about trading is a tool of manipulation crafted by the elite. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch it. Because in that video, I wasn't talking about indicators. I was talking about the power behind the knowledge. You think indicators were created to help you trade better? No, they were created to make you feel close to being right, only to lose willingly. You think technical patterns are the path to success? No, they're the gateway to collective psychological traps, where the crowd believes they're on the right track and the elites just wait on the other side. The real question isn't which entry is the most accurate. The question is, why are we all being taught to act the same way? Who profits when you buy a head and shoulders breakout? Who's on the other side when you place a stop loss in the most obvious zone? If you truly want to join the 1%, the first thing you must do is let go of everything you believe in. After that, I'll show you how the 1% of consistently profitable traders actually think. They don't analyze like you. They don't place trades like you. And most importantly, they don't learn like you. Only 1% of traders make money, and they don't live in your world. They don't ask where to buy. They don't wonder if a breakout is real. They don't hesitate over a red candle because they don't trade based on visuals. They trade based on the psychological structure hidden behind market behavior. You see a breakout candle. They see the blood about to spill when the crowd chases in. You see confirmation. They see the overconfidence of people who think they're safe. You see opportunity. They see greed rising, and that's when they strike. Not because the technicals say buy, but because the crowd is handing them the trade. The 1% never enter when things are obvious. They enter when collective belief hits its peak. When everyone believes the market will rise, they prepare to sell. When everyone waits for a pullback to buy, they're already in. When the crowd says it's too risky to hold, they know it's time to be rewarded. They don't need to be right often. They only need to be right where the crowd is too afraid to hold. Because they are not programmed to react like the 99%. They don't look at charts as tools. They see them as walls of belief, ready to crumble. You cannot become the 1% if you continue to think like the 99%. Their mindset is not about how to analyze correctly. It's about how to understand the mistakes of the crowd and position themselves on the other side before everything collapses. In the next part, I'll share the roadmap to escape the manipulation, the path I took to burn every belief I once thought was right, and to rebuild a new trading mindset like the true elites. If you've never been stopped out just because you trusted a pattern too much, if you've ever felt betrayed by the very system you were taught to believe in, then the next part is where your journey begins. I used to be one of those hopeful traders, obsessed with indicators, living by the news and dying with every candle that defied my expectations. Until I shattered every old belief, I stepped into a world without the glow of technical setups, only the bloodstains of those who had been devoured by the market. And this is the path I've walked, quiet, ruthless, but as sharp and clear as a blade against flesh. Step 1. Throw away your indicators and start observing price reactions. I stopped asking whether RSI was overbought or oversold. I started asking why price didn't react to that major news event. When you stop looking at charts as graphics and start seeing them as expressions of collective emotion, that's the moment your eyes begin to open. Step 2. Don't look for entry points, look for where others are being trapped. Price doesn't bounce because someone's buying hard. It bounces because weak sellers just got flushed out. The 1% don't trade based on logic. They trade based on the knee-jerk reactions of the crowd. Step 3. Stop asking when to enter. Ask, what does the crowd believe right now? If you're still counting waves, drawing patterns, and waiting for confirmation signals, you're still playing on the same field as the 99%. I began asking myself, if everyone believes price will keep rising, then who's left to buy? When no buyers remain, there's only one direction left. Step 4. Hold your position not out of hope, but because you're on the right side. I never hold a losing position. I cut it without regret if I see the flow of money has left. But when I know I'm on the right side of the trade, I hold until the end, not out of stubbornness, but because I've seen the full picture. The 1% don't look for shortcuts. They walk the hard road, the lonely road, the road no one claps for because they know victory doesn't belong to the impatient. It belongs to those strong enough to see through the fog. When I began stepping away from the crowd, I didn't become better. I became quieter. I no longer got excited after a winning trade, and I no longer panicked after a losing one. I simply observed not the market, but myself in the face of uncertainty. I realized the biggest trap isn't technical patterns or breaking news. The biggest trap is the feeling that you've figured it out. The moment you believe you've mastered the market, you fall into a new loop, a deeper, more sophisticated trap. The 1% don't try to control the market. They master themselves. They don't win with tools. They win with inner stillness. I used to lose because I reacted like everyone else. See a green candle, buy. See a red candle, cut. Hear good news, get excited. Hear bad news, retreat. I don't do that anymore. I watch for expectation gaps. I measure the madness of the crowd. And I only act when I know the crowd is about to be betrayed by its own belief. I don't chase profit. I wait for the moment to strike the weakest point of human psychology. And I disappear the moment the crowd starts to copy my thinking. Because the 1% don't stay when the market becomes easy to read. They vanish into the shadows, preparing for their next strike. If you've made it this far, I believe you're beginning to understand the market isn't a place to make money. It's a place where you measure the depth of your own self. Right after this, I will share with you the most important thing of all: how to keep this mindset when the market goes wild and the screaming of the crowd starts closing in on your ears. The next part isn't about winning. It's about surviving as an elite in the middle of chaos. Now, if you're still here, I'll tell you something no book, no course, no expert ever told you. Trading is not a skill. Trading is a state of mind. The market doesn't need you to win every trade. It only needs you to survive long enough and stay awake deep enough to tell the difference between a true signal and the desperate screaming of the herd. When the market goes insane, you don't need more tools. You need an inner anchor. When the world begins to tremble, you must not doubt yourself. Because if you've read the crowd's psychology correctly, don't retreat when they start to scream. The true trading mindset doesn't live in indicators. It lives in your ability to stay grounded while the losers cheer for their own doom. This mindset won't help you win every trade, but it will keep you from being wiped out when the market starts hunting for blood. The 1% survive not because they're the best, but because they're quieter, heavier, deeper. They strike when the crowd stops thinking, and they disappear when the crowd gets excited. You ask, when should I enter? I answer, when the noise is loud enough to drown out everyone's logic. You ask, when should I hold? I answer, when you begin doubting yourself, but your logic still stands. You ask, when should I exit? I answer, the moment the crowd starts agreeing with you. Remember this if you want to survive. The market doesn't pay the smartest. It pays those who don't betray themselves. If you feel this truth, I don't need you to like or subscribe. I just need you to leave a comment. I've stepped out of the crowd. And if someone you know is stuck in a losing trade, doubting themselves, sitting in the dark with a bleeding account, send them this video not to save them, but to let them know there's another way, a quiet way, but a real one. The day I began trading like this, I didn't speak much. I just watched, held my trades in silence, and left the market like I had never been there. My friends doubted me. They wondered, why doesn't he share anymore? Why does he win but not teach us? They thought I was hiding something, keeping secrets to myself. Some even turned against me. I understood, because if I were them, I doubt me too. Those who truly see the market's nature are often very silent, and that silence scares people. But I wasn't hiding anything. I just knew that some truths can't be explained with words. They can only be transferred through a deeper layer of awareness. And one day, those very friends who laughed at me started listening to these videos, and they became silent. They didn't need to ask anymore, because they had heard not a secret but a state of mind. If you're hearing these words, you are not alone. You are stepping out of the noise and into the stillness of survivors. You are no longer a chaser of the market. You are becoming the one who places trades one beat before the crowd and exits before they even realize what happened. From here, you don't need to search for another strategy. You only need to go deeper within yourself. Remember this, the elite don't outperform you with tools. They outperform you with their ability to endure solitude long enough to see the truth. And if you're ready to keep going, leave a comment below. I'm ready to live like the 1%. And if you need someone to walk this path with you, I'm still here silent, but never taking my eyes off the market.